Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm Pabs, a Rice Team VTuber and an artist, and today I have the hiccups, so you might hear me hiccup a little bit every now and again. I'll be trying to drink water and keep it down, but there's no guarantees that you won't hear me hiccup every now and again. But besides that, we're going to be working a little bit on the comic. So yesterday we finished up designing the very cool little jetpack that we're going to have for the main character, and now we're going to apply that jetpack directly to the other pages that we've already done. Mainly because otherwise I feel like if I leave it until the very end, it's just not going to be fun for me to correct all in one go. You know, I'd rather like do those little incremental changes as we go. And although that's going to impede a little bit of the process on the current page, I feel like if I don't do them now, I'll just keep forgetting. And also I do need to just kind of go over the different pages and make sure that I've just been consistent with some of the like design choices. Like for example, making sure that they're like the little band on the back of the helmet is always black, right? So that's what we'll be mainly doing today. It's yeah. Where am I? Where did I go? Chat, where are you? It's so dark. Oh, I see. I have VC face on. Right, I used my 3D model last time. Wait, no. I should be good here now. Where am I? Hello? Dios mío, ¿dónde me pusieron? Oh, cielos. Okay. I don't know why this isn't letting me get back in here. I should be allowed to be in here. This is my stream. Hang on. Oh, hang on. I think we got it. Wait, no, that can't be right. Capture cursor, automatic, match title. Why is that not working? Is it showing up as like a still frame for you guys too? What exactly is... Hang on. YouTube Studio, VLC, blah, 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 blah. Capture method, Windows 10? Oh, I think that... Okay, now we've got it. Hey, why is it pitch black? Oh, man. Okay, this is gonna... Okay, no, hang on. There has to be a... Wait. I know what happened. I know exactly what happened. I'm not on the right... Here we go. Okay. Yeah, see, I had a window named Live 2D, and I assumed that was for my... for my VTube Studio thing. It wasn't. There was a separate one for Live 2D Studio. Or VTube Studio. In any case, what's done is done. The past is a past. We're gonna be moving on. Alright, federal fucking issue to start the day off with, huh? That's not bad, though. I feel like it's good to have technical issues like that every now and again. Keeps you on your toes. You know. There's that idea, right? Like, I feel like part of being an entertainer isn't just, you know, being funny, right? It's also being able to take the situations you're rolling with grace, right? Like, okay, a better phrase for that might be rolling with the punches. So another part of it is like rolling with the punches, and I feel like I've been getting much better at that over the years. You know, as I've kind of matured as a streamer. You know, now it's not, oh dear God, there's been an error, and now I am going to be like, I don't know, maidenless for the rest of my life. You know, it's not that serious. It's just going to be me just trying to correct it the best as I can. Yeah, as long as you don't like freak out about it, I feel like it's just fine. Like, no, if you don't make it awkward for other people, it's not going to be awkward for you. At least that's kind of what I've been feeling more recently. Hey, Bunny, how you doing? Let's see here. Okay. Oh hey, and I think that technical issue scared me so bad that my hiccups went away. So yeah, that's quite the win in my book. Killing two birds with one stone. It has been a day, I'll tell you that. Oof. Yeah, Wednesday. I never did get the hang of Wednesday, so I'm glad to see that it's not always. Also rip slash oh no. It's fine. The moment it's fine, like the moment's passed anyway. that I don't have hiccups anymore is what's good. But yeah, I'm sorry to hear you've been having a bit of a tough day. Wednesdays can be like that, you know. I never got the hang of Wednesdays. Always in the middle like that. Very difficult to get a handle on. I hope you can kick back a little bit with this stream. I'm going to be doing my usual rambling, so I hope you enjoy. Let's see here. Okay, I've got the band all kind of like tethered like that. Okay. All right, this page 1 is good to go. Moving on to page 2. Yeah, lightning round this sucker. Oh, actually, page 2 might... Okay, page 2 is going to take a while to do properly, mainly because in the... So let me explain a little bit about my setup. So, I made this template myself, right? I made this page template myself. So what it is that usually what you want to have is that you want to have the panel borders in this kind of like green frame, and anything that's outside of this green frame is fine, but anything that's outside of like this blue frame right here, you're in a little bit of losing. You know, there's a slight risk of you losing that when it's printed. That's what I've been led to understand, at least from the main method of these things. So my main challenge for this is going to be making sure that everything that I have in here fits in the panel that I would set up here. So I think the first thing to do would actually be to create one of those panels. Yeah, the good news is that it's just like one big image, so nothing's really going to be that difficult. Although, okay, this one already has this kind of like noise effect applied. Let me open up the original file for this. Okay, yeah. There we go. While I'm at it, I might as well make sure that I have everything. Yeah, this is back when I wasn't using the anti-alias brush strokes yet. That's going to be a little bit of a... That's going to make it a little bit more difficult. But you know what? I like a challenge. All right, let me just bring this over. Okay, and then layer. What's this going to be? Makes it a little spicy. Yeah, yeah. That's what I used to have that mindset, right? That I used to like how crunchy like aliased lines look, but apparently it's not good for what do you call printing. You know, apparently it's much better if you have anti-aliased lines for printing. So I've been working to kind of like wean myself off of aliased lines. And I gotta say, the effect has been kind of interesting. I like it. I don't think it's bad. Although it's still getting some used to due to like my painting style. Layer. Okay, wait, no. New layer. Here we go. Frame border folder. Oh, frame border folder. Okay, I can say that. I can say these words. I know these words. I understand these words. Okay, let me see if I can't smush this up to the green lines here. But yeah, no. I used to like, you know, if I'd had my brothers and it made no difference, I'd still like to have the alias style because I feel like it just makes much cleaner lines. You know, to me, it's less ambiguous. You know, that kind of style. Okay, over here, then over here. Oh yeah. Speaking of spicier stuff, this isn't necessarily spicy, but it is related to like heat. I did a little bit of exercise earlier today, so my throat is in tatters. So I'm going to be so you know, today I got myself a little treat. Rather than drinking just normal straight up water when I hydrate, I'll be drinking nice tasty hot water. Yeah, I moved the kettle from my kitchen to right around like where my desk is. And let's see here. Which one of these suckers still has rulers? Okay. So first order of business is making sure that it kind of like fits mainly. The proportions are mostly there. I just need to make sure that like nothing vital is getting cut off. Much like with surgery, 90% of the work is making sure that everything that your patient needs is there. Man, yeah, I hate the suffix that in the modern internet vernacular has developed called "pilled," like something or other pilled, because I know it's like origins suck, but at the same time, it's very difficult for me to not say I got hot water pilled. That and making sure that you've got the right limb / part. Details. Listen, haven't you ever wanted to have 3 arms instead of 2? Wait, but I guess that one would imply that you've accidentally taken off somebody else's arm. Well, I'm sure they didn't need that so much anyway. Alright, first order of business is going to every single one of the vector layers and making sure that it's set to have the anti-aliased. That makes it look... Okay, that makes this part look kind of gross, but that's fine. Christ, it's really funny, like, looking at just how much of this layer is just me making a vector layer and just going absolutely ham. Like, you see what just happened there? Like, this is like... All of these are vector layer lines. This isn't like a material. Yeah, I put my entire... I put everything that I had into this friggin' layer, and I think it really shows. Oh yeah, you can... I think... Yeah, part of this is when I was still, like, trying to work out with the... You really chose the hardest route for yourself. Yeah. To be fair, a lot of this page was also like experimenting. Like you can see here that I actually experimented a little bit with using the line. What do you call? Yeah, the line half toning. But I didn't really like how it looked, so I ended up doing it manually anyway. And I like that I did that because I learned this really cool effect I can do with vector layers. Okay, what's this? Okay, these seem to be mainly superfluous. Yeah, I don't think we're going to need this bottom half. But yeah, it does look baller, so yay. Yeah, exactly. It's important to keep in mind that that as long as it looks good, anything goes. Yeah. Okay. Which part of these is like... Okay. This is blacks. And this is blacks. And the rest of the... It's still so fucking funny that all of this is just vector lines. My god, man, what were you thinking? But yeah. Now, I've gotten a little bit more efficient with these over time. But I largely abandoned that style. Particularly because, after these few pages, I didn't need to lean into like the horror comic aesthetic as much. Which is fun. Let's see. Adjust line width. Don't process the whole line, but do make the brush a little bit bigger. All right. Ooh. Okay, I'm wondering here if... Okay, I have some choices to make here. Adjust line width. Scale up. Yeah. I think the best choice would probably be to fix the width of these to be like 1 pixel wide. Make sure that it processes the whole line. You can see here that I've just made like a big dot in the middle here. Vector lines are wacky as hell. Oh god, what happened here? Well, anyway. Let's see. Scale up width, brush size. Don't process the whole line though. Yeah, the nice thing about this is that now I can just kind of like make sure that it just like gets denser towards the top. And then I don't really have to worry about a thing. Although we could make this go a little bit faster. I do wish there was a way to like blend the width though, because you can see here that it creates like a kind of like weird effect. Let me bring back how it looked originally. Maybe there is a way to do this that doesn't require pure brute force. Okay, yes, it's scaling up the width a little too much on some of these guys. That's why we're getting like these weird like Silent Hill type ghost images. Hmm. All right, here we go. Okay, so we'll set scale up with to like 1.2%. There we go. It's still not as uniform as I would like it to be, but if I make it like the big ball thing, it's going to be a little bit too disuniform. Unless... Hang on. Alright, I've got an idea. God, you can just see the poor pro application just struggling to keep up with my demands when I do this sort of thing. Let's see, scale down width, and then we'll apply this to the specific areas that are getting a little bit too wide. Not completely removing them. It's good to have that kind of like weird texture there, but, also not just letting them exist freely like that. It's like with goats, you gotta let them have a little bit of free reign, but you can't let them have too much free reign because they're not particularly clever creatures. Speaking of weirdly clever creatures, I think that apparently what were these creatures called? They were like Tamarin Emperor monkeys or something like that. Yeah, Tamarin Emperor monkeys. And if you've never seen one of these beasts, they look actually pretty swag. Hang on. Tamarin. They have like mustaches. Yeah, these guys. Take a look at that creature. Yeah, apparently a couple of these suckers went missing from the Dallas Zoo. And it took a little while, but I think they've been found by now. I do think that they found them now, but for imagine just like rolling up to your morning commute and just seeing one of these things on like your fence on like your fence. I would fucking go back home. I'm not going to work that day. This thing looks like it's about to dispense an ancient prophecy. This beast has for sure given out side quests. Alright, let's see here. You know what? I've got some idea. This for sure had to have had lines or something around here. So here's what I'm thinking. I am going to Okay, let's see here. Okay, what is this little like patch of color here? I was about to call it a nubbin of color, but I don't think that. But wasn't that like a word used in like Friends or something to like describe a third nipple? I hate thinking about that word, sincerely. Let's see here. Okay. So I think what we'll need to is, okay, this part here, and this part here. And also this part here. Hmm. Yeah, because I'm wondering how to make this more consistent is the thing. Because I don't want it to be like spackled like that. I think I have an idea though. Hang on. Maybe I don't need to start over from scratch. All right, hang on. So here, my idea is as follows, right? I'm going to go use the fix width tool, and I'm going to just apply it, not across the whole line. Yeah, there we go. And maybe at a smaller size too. Actually, no. First, I will process the whole line. And then I'm going to go ahead and increase it. Do not process the whole line. Okay. And then I think what the other thing that I can do is I can make sure that this kind of follows like a diagonal pattern, maybe, rather than a like straight horizontal pattern. And I think that's going to be much better compared to making it just straight diagonal. That being said, this might take a minute, so if you haven't already, make sure you have a snack. Yeah, the only difficulty with this is that past a certain point, hang on, past a certain point, you're gonna run into the issue that you've kind of like painted yourself into a corner, so to speak. Which isn't a great place to be, but we can work with it. Yeah, like what's going on over here? Hang on. Hmm. Okay, and then I think now what we can do is we can kind of use the scale width tool and make sure that most of these, oops. Okay. So what's up with some of these lines? Hmm. Also, past a certain point, I think you need to start using the thicken tool. No, this isn't right. Alright, here's what we do then. First I want to make sure that this kind of like area around the kind of like lights, the laser... I keep forgetting this is actually supposed to be like a meat carver. I mean, in theory, that's still its purpose. It just carves other meats now. Let's see. Yeah, I think... Okay, so I think I'm content with like these. I'll have to do a little bit of touching up here, but for the ones over here, I do think it would be best to like use a different method of sorts. I mean, first of all, hang on. Okay. Here we go. I wonder if my hot water's cooled down enough for me to drink it. Gonna say not just yet. Yeah. My biggest, I'm at a, my biggest moment where I'm at war with myself isn't when making like difficult decisions, but mainly when I'm drinking hot water, because I love drinking hot water. I am a big hot water advocate, but I cannot for the life of me handle like super high temperatures for my drinks. So yeah. What's that one Japanese phrasing for it? Like I have a cat's tongue? Something like that. But yeah. Which is weird because normally I'm not like very sensitive to like heat and foods. I mean, I'm sensitive to spiciness, but that's different from heat. Something can be hot and still not be spicy. Pancakes, for instance. But yeah, hot drinks are just something that I can't do. Like, I think I can cool down food in my mouth easily enough, which is why I'm not like particularly troubled by it. But if it's like a hot drink, you can blow on it if you want, but like that's not gonna really fix the issue. Well, I guess that's life sometimes. Nothing you can really do about it. Then over here. Yeah. My dad used to call doing things like this, just making sure that everything is working as it's supposed to. Just kind of like the nitty-gritty details. He used to have a phrase for them. He used to call them la carpinteria. Yeah. Mainly it used to be related to like math problems, so it's funny that now I'm using it for art. The principle still stands though. Like literally translated, it just means that your carpentry, right? So if you've got your carpentry messed up, you're not gonna have like a good outcome, right? That's the kind of meaning of the phrase. And some people's families have like weird sayings, but you know whose weird sayings I don't like? Okay, respect might be a harsh word for it, but there was this movie, right? Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. And I remember watching that movie a fair bit as a kid. But what always bugged me about it was that like the main character had this dad. Like a lot of there was like a personal plot with, it wasn't just like the main plot going on, but it was also like the plot of the main character kind of trying to relate to his like very awkward fisherman dad. And it was like a running gag almost, that the dad used to have all these like weird fisherman related sayings that the son just didn't understand. And he was like, the things you say don't really make any sense. And I feel like, it might have been done on purpose, but I feel like the main character, it was almost like frustrating how little the main character understood the phrases. Like, that's always just like that bugged me secretly. Like, yeah, okay, this guy can build a device that can like spit out food, no problem, but he can't figure out like what it means, the meaning of the phrase, when it rains you put on a coat. Like, come on, man. That's not even the curtains aren't blue. It's not just the curtains are blue kind of lack of reading comprehension. That shit is just like, you are straight up stupid. I'm sorry, man, but you are. You straight up do not have two brain cells to rub together in the literary arts if that's as if those phrases are causing you trouble. Let's see. Okay, wait. Which one of these would be this one? Yes. Okay. Yeah. I heard I was listening to this webinar. The author of the comic, Raph, recommended me a few webinars from a Batman artist, who talks a little bit about the digital workflow for him, and I found that to be kind of interesting. I haven't gotten through them quite yet, but I'm making my way through them, right? And one of the first things that this guy talks about was that one of the common like criticisms of the digital workflow is that because you can kind of like focus in on that fine of a detail, you lose the bigger picture, right? So for example, that little bit here that I just like erased, nobody would have noticed that. I like, if I went out to print it right now, I think the library is still open. I could still theoretically do that if I wanted to right now. But if I wanted to go out and print this page right now and I try to take a look at it, I would for sure not have noticed that, right? It would have been too small for me to see, which is also a good why anti-alias lines are good for this sort of thing, is that they kind of like have that subtlety available to them. Hang on. But yeah, and while I understand where he is coming from, I think he is right in that like it can, having like all that information to focus on can hurt your ability to like take in the bigger picture. But I do also think that it is somewhat unfounded. I agree that it's unfounded. Like he also said that was like unfounded criticism, but like, even if he didn't explain why he didn't feel it was unfounded, I feel like I would also feel that the same way, because like I think that human eyes are very, very perceptive. Like, we were made not just to be able to like look at colors on screen all day, but also to like be able to like tell a tiger apart from a bunch of leaves, right? So I think what's kind of important here, right, is that even very subtle differences can have a very large impact, not just to like how we perceive things, but how like we perceive them as like correct or incorrect, right? Just a little bit of like difference in line thickness can inform about like the depth of something. So I think, while it is true that we might lose track of the bigger picture, I think if you say that like, if you use digital art, you kind of like lose sight of the bigger picture. I think you're also missing out on the part that it lets you not just, if you understand how the bigger picture it kind of relates to digital art, you can control it much more finely than you could with like traditional mediums. And again, those are just my thoughts. I haven't really done much traditional art, in as far as like painting goes. I still do inks from time to time. That would be kind of fun, kind of an interesting stream thing to do at some point. You know, do like an inking thing. I would have done it for October, but I think the Inktober guy got canceled because he's like try to like what do you call unethically monetize the thing. Yeah, that thing. He pulled a Netflix. I don't even know if that's the right term for it, but I'm gonna choose to use it. You know, now whenever somebody like inadvisably monetizes something, I'm gonna just say they pulled a Netflix and hope that it catches on. Yeah, the entire like TV streaming platform concept just kind of like really has really been crapping the bed these past few years. Okay. All right, I think those are good. Yeah, these should be fine. Now these guys, on the other hand. Yeah, the good news is that I don't have to do much. Wait. Oh, I didn't end up doing something here, did I? Hang on. All right, so here's what I'm going to do then. All right. I mean, first I'm going to like try and compare it to the original, right? Okay, so there's not much there. Okay. Is my hot water cold enough to drink now? Could still use a little bit more cooling time. It probably doesn't help that I put it in one of those, what do you call, the metallic vacuum cup things. What's se llaman esas cosas? The hydro flasks. Yeah. I don't really use hydro flasks all that often. I have a big water bottle that I've used since I was like 15. You know, plastic doesn't really degrade, so to speak. But recently my parents got me this tiny hydro flask cup. Hang on. That you're supposed to drink wine out of, but I've just been using it for like normal drinks. Yeah, it's like this very round little thing. Quite charming, really. Yeah, it's a wine tumbler. Yeah, quite the charming little thing, honestly. I like the shape of it. It feels good to hold, but, you know, besides that, it's like... Yeah. The bad thing about drinking hot stuff out of this cup is that it is unsurprisingly very good at maintaining the heat of liquids. Which, you know, isn't it really like my number one goal for these sorts of things? Hang on. Okay, I'm gonna turn this wall pitch black. Then I'm gonna add a symmetry line ruler. Or parallel line ruler, my bad. And I'm gonna grab the white, and I am going to do a few practice runs of drawing from the shoulder. Yeah. This was like the master plan that I had, by the way. This is literally it. Just paint the wall pitch black and then use the parallel line tool to help me make a a decent crosshatch. Now, I do think we can like increase the size of this. Hang on. Been clearing my throat a lot today. I've been noticing that recently that I need to like I've gotten into the habit of like doing the old man cough to clear my throat, like, you know, rather than doing like right, I would go like like that. It sounds kind of gross, and I can't help but feel self-conscious of it because every single time that I do it, I remind myself of that one meme that's going around, like, which competition of which is louder, hydrogen bomb or cuffing baby. Where did that meme even come from? Who makes a meme like that? I mean, they're right, but yeah, you know, It's very mean. I feel like it's just got a little mean to the baby to compare it to like the thunderous noise of a hydrogen bomb. My knowledge, hello. But yeah, I see that meme going around every now and again. The risk of having people who have like very strange brained memes, the risk of having people like that is that while you gain the benefit of having the whimsy and joy of their sense of humor, you also tend to like get brain poisoning from these types of jokes because God forgive me, but the moment I make a hydrogen bomb versus cuffing baby joke in any context that is not the internet, my ass is getting sent out of there. It is going to ruin my career. It is going to ruin my credit score, perhaps. Yeah, like I have this phrase, right? Hiding your power level. The brain rots that are memes. Yeah. Anyway, right. I have this phrase like hiding your power level and what it does to people. Yeah. Yeah. I have this phrase, right? Hiding your power level. I use it to refer to like a lot of contexts, but mainly to my workplace thing, right? So at my work, no, I have to pretend that I don't know like for example, what an anime is, right? I am very much lying to my coworkers when if like they ask me, hey, like have you watched this or that, or like I had a coworker ask me like, hey, have you heard of this like comic called like Solo Leveling? And I'm like, I've read like almost up to the end of the very end of the series. I haven't seen the ending yet. Whatever. And I have to pretend that I don't know what the hell they're talking about because that's just what I need to preserve my own peace. When I look my darling coworker in the eyes and I lie to them to their faces to tell them that I don't know what Naruto is, I'm not just protecting myself. I'm protecting them from me. Do you understand? I am doing them a public service. And it's very difficult too because one of my managers is actually really into like anime and stuff. Well, not super into it, but fair bit. He listens to some nerdy podcasts and all that, and so like he's got like a slightly higher power level. It's like how stand users can detect each other, right? So I have to be like especially wary of him. But yeah. Anyway, hiding my power level, I think, has been my main key to success because that way, you know, people just know me as the relatively deadpan guy who used to come into the office fairly frequently until it started snowing, which is a reputation that I am more than fine with. Yeah, yada yada. You'll never get the rewards of being known unless you. What? Okay, well, how did that phrase go? Like, you'll never receive the awards of being seen until you submit to the terrifying ordeal of being known. Yeah. The thing is, the rewards for being seen in this context for me are relatively few. So I will be unknown with pleasure. Yeah. That reminds me of this conversation that I heard about in an interview. So you guys know that I occasionally, very occasionally, dabble in tokusatsu stuff. So stuff like Kamen Rider, Super Sentai. Yeah, the closest thing to it is like Power Rangers in the West. Ultraman. I haven't watched anything about Ultraman yet, though. I watched a little bit of like some of the more recent seasons of Sentai, and some of Kamen Rider Force and Build. I'm trying to fix that, but I enjoy it. And oh, pause, check and hydrate. Thank you. And there was this recent interview, right, where they were where the showrunners were discussing like the differences between one season and the next, and they explained it as such, like, because each time it's a different thing, right? It's like Final Fantasy. You can more or less hop on and not really have to worry about it watching or reading any of the predecessors because it's an entirely different story, which is nice. I've certainly appreciated. Anyway, they kind of like described the difference in tone and feeling between the last year's seasons, which was Senkaiger, and this year's season, which is Dawn Brothers, as follows. Watching Senkaiger will give you like Senkai brain. Watching Dawn Brothers will give you Dawn Brothers poisoning. That's how they described it. From what I've seen, this is completely correct. Every single thing that I've learned about Dawn Brothers has been both against my will and by osmosis, and even now I can just like barely understand what the fuck is going on. There's a dude running around that's also two dudes. There's a guy that's blue that is kind of weird about a guy that's red. A guy turns into a dog at some point. All sorts of shit is cooking in there. I'm gonna need to wait until like it's over and people like are objectively like, yeah, it's worth it, or no, it wasn't. Oh, Summoner Rises? For sure. Yeah, I'm gonna need to figure out whether or not it's worth it to like really deep dive into it after it's finished. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, learning more about Toku. It seems to bring the people that I know who like it joy, so hopefully it can do a little bit of something for that. Some of that for me, too. Hang on. Actually, come to think of it, this would probably be... Hang on. Hang on. There we go. And actually, come to think of it, couldn't I just shift this up a little bit? Oops, hang on. There we go. Oh yeah, speaking of strange things that have been going on in the media here lately, I think that one horror movie that's supposed to be based on like the Winnie the Pooh... Hang on. After the first one, I have to summon them manually. There we go. Yeah, that movie. Yeah. What's it called? Like Blood and Honey? Yeah. Apparently, that Winnie the Pooh movie is getting released soon. Yeah. And what's really funny to me about it isn't just the premise in general, like for most people, but apparently the news that they've just recently released, that apparently they're already working on a sequel. I read this from a newsletter, so it's definitely like a secondhand source, but I like apparently it's already slated for a sequel. And I think that it somehow like bumps up the movie in my general opinion. Not for any like specific reason, but only because, you know, the fact that the actors are already like talking about a sequel, right? Either means that this movie has way too much money behind it and it's going to be awesome watching it fail, or it means that it's like legitimately that fun for the actors to work on and it's going to be that good. It's a little bit of a Russian roulette of which one it's going to be, but I'm really hoping for the latter. We need a win like this. I mean, certainly I could use a win like it. I get plenty of good news in my life. I'm a very lucky person like that. But I always like it when I get more good news, because surely what I think is good news must be good news for someone else as well. So they can definitely, kind of share the joy. Quite curious to hear more about it once it's out. Yeah. Remember how they were like talking about making a Five Nights at Freddy's movie? God, I hope it's like really bad, that one. Not out of particular hatred for anything. I just think it would be funny if it were. Just like watching like six different people scramble to find like meaningful lore shit behind it, only to get rebuffed by the worst cinematography you've ever seen for a 90-minute runtime. Yeah. The thing is, right? I personally don't have anything against the Five Nights at Freddy's series. I never got like super scared of the animatronics. I never got like traumatized by any of it. I never got like burned by any of it. I think the dude's kind of like weird, but I've never been like personally hurt by it. However, I do blame it for like the fact that nowadays you can just kind of slap together a weird looking creature design for like from a children's TV show, make like some weird fucked up lore behind it that you can crap out in 20 minutes and essentially make millions of dollars, which I'm sure is great for the booming making the Bite of 87. Yeah. I'm sure that's great for like the Johnny Vasquez's of the world, who have yet to make their big break and are currently working in the fucked up children's media minds. But I'm personally a little bit exhausted of seeing the game, of seeing the trend. Yeah, I wasn't supposed to tell. I'm making this next bit up completely, by the way. I wasn't supposed to tell you guys this, but yeah, much like how in wrestling you have to pay your dues to your seniors. In the comics industry, you are supposed to like pay your dues under like extreme conditions. Very few artists survive the process. Yeah, and it also depends on like what you're hoping to make. They find a cruel irony, in particular, of not accepting you for any work except of what the opposite is of what you want to create. It's trying to break your spirit. You see, it's making sure that you're nice and malleable for once you're ready to enter the real professional world. I shouldn't talk about the art industry like this. I don't really know anything about the art industry other than I'm very technically part of it because I like take commissions and everything. I don't know how that should work. I'm a bag of rice, for Christ's sakes. Yeah, speaking of messed up stuff, I found out today that apparently they just like have Galileo's middle finger, thumb, and index finger in a glass case in Florence, Italy, in a museum. Yeah. Relics are always a fun thing to talk about because, like, some of them are kind of like understandable. Like, you have the rib of a saint that was pierced by an arrow or something like that. But this, Galileo was considered not a great guy by the Catholic Church at the time he was alive. But he still ended up getting relics made out of him anyway. Yeah, the Catholic Church was not a fan of what Galileo was cooking. Unfortunately, what he was cooking turned out to be the heliocentric model of the solar system. So, even if they didn't let him cook, he ended up cooking anyway. If it wasn't him, someone else would have grabbed the pan handle, so to speak. Let's see. But yeah, if you ever visit Florence, Italy, You can go visit Galileo in a museum, and he will be flipping you the bird every single hour of the day. Thanks, Italy. Okay. The good news is there's not much that we need to do. Oh, wait, actually, hang on. Let me go back to page 1 for a second here. We also need to, like, continue to rework the lines for some of these, but that's fine. Hang on. Is my water cold enough to drink yet? Oh yeah, it's at the perfect spot. Not too cold, but not so lukewarm so as to be tepid, but not hot enough that it's like burning me. The ideal temperature. All right, hang on. There we go. Yeah, I'll just have that there. And hang on, let me make sure that it's okay. Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm just gonna fill in some of these vents with like the chevron vents here with the like same pattern as the gun. Struggling to find my words today. Maybe those hiccups did something to me after all. Okay. What was I thinking about? I'll figure it out or I won't. Anyway, let me drink some more of this hot, tasty water. I'm forgetting to mute my mic while I do this, but that's fine. The song of the water calls to me. Let's see. One more should do the trick? Alrighty. Hang on, let me just finish off this water here. I'll get right back to you. That hit the spot. I remember the, what do you call? there was an out of context panel from JoJo where there was this one dude who was like, I see you have some water here. It's very high in silicate. Do you mind if I indulge? And the girl is just sitting there like, sure. Oh god, I made it so big. And the girl is just like, sure, okay, go ahead. And like the dudes just start straight up like chugging a... Hang on. There we go. The council has decided your fate. But yeah, yeah, and this dude just straight up starts chugging just like a bottle of water. That used to be my dream as a kid. That I could like straight up like lift... First of all, that I'd be strong enough to lift a water bottle, like one of those like office water cooler ones. And second of all, that I could just like drink it. It was a very humble dream, but it was mine. Humble, what am I saying? It was an absurd dream, but nevertheless, it was still mine. Alright. That begs the question, though. Where? Oh, is it somewhere here? Somewhere here? Okay, what layer is here? That's strange. I don't think I can find the layer that's doing this. Wait, hang on. No, I still can't find it. Where? Okay. So got suddenly remembering the Badlands chugging the ocean. Badlands chugging the ocean? Hang on. Badlands chugging the ocean. Oh, I see. So somebody already had that idea, huh? Well, it's fine. I don't mind being beaten to the punch on that one. Still, it's bothering me that I don't know where this, Oh. Hang on, I think I found it. Alright, let's go for the rough eraser on these guys. They'll never learn their lesson otherwise. Okay, I see. Alright. Yeah, page 2 ended up being the first page I ever drew for this. I remember being very proud of like my progress with it. Because let's be honest, this is a pretty baller page. Again. There we go. Alright, let me take a look at the other version of this. How did that... Okay, I see. I see. I think this might also be a side effect of changing up the, what do you call, the density of some of these lines. Or, you know, shifting to the anti-aliased mode. Is there like is there like an anime moment that's like the opposite of Rock Lee dropping his weights? Because I feel like that's what anti-aliasing does to me. At least when I have to adapt it from aliased lines. I guess the closest one that I can think of is like Goku getting that weird heart disease that kicked off the Android saga. Man, remember when that was a thing that happened and nobody ever brought it back up? That Goku was supposed to have heart disease and then like just didn't because like somebody meddled with the fucking timeline. Yeah. It does also seem like a weird bit of like a dick move for Future Trunks to just give Goku that medicine, but like not the rest of the world. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he did give it to the Future Trunks. Maybe did give it to the rest of the world when he like handed out that medicine to Goku. But like, if that's the case, then how did Goku still get that heart disease? You know, again, you know, I have a friend of mine who's recently begun watching through Dragon Ball Z for the first time, and she pointed out some of the weirder shit that's going. The sudden heart virus the body is saying, yeah. Let's be real. If Goku's immune system had taken its eyes off the prize for even a second when he was growing up, like, okay, let's be real. If Goku's, I firmly believe that if Goku's immune system had taken its eyes off the prize even like once when he was growing up, there wouldn't have been a Dragon Ball Z. Hell, there may not even have been a Dragon Ball. Like, yeah, I get that he can hunt for himself, but like, let's be real. Goku was like a little kid living in the middle of nowhere when his grandpa died. Somehow he was okay, but like, God, I forgot that the first thing that Bulma did upon meeting Goku was to shoot him. Just straight up try to cap him. You know, this might be controversial, but I think she did the right thing because if like a 10-year-old child flipped over my car in the middle of nowhere, I would also be a little bit alarmed. I think Bulma thought she was in a horror movie, but she forgot that she wasn't like in a gag manga at the time. Before the home planet was comically obliterated by a large energy ball. Or obliterated by a comically large energy ball. There wasn't really anything comical about, like, saying the planet getting destroyed, or Vegeta, the planet getting destroyed. That always seemed really fucking stupid to me. Like, I get that it might have been an ego thing, but like the fact that Vegeta was named the name of the king, the prince, and the planet always pissed me off a little bit. Like, you know, Vegeta keeps talking about the Saiyan pride and shit. Why didn't he call the planet like Pride or Saiya then? Like, I feel like if he kept calling himself a Saiyan, but he said he was from Planet Vegeta, they'd be like, okay, did you like migrate to Planet Vegeta then, or like, were you just like happened to be a Saiyan in Planet Vegeta when you became the prince? How did that work? There are questions. Let's see here. Yeah, quite the predicament. Yeah, that's one way of putting it. Imagine getting stopped at the DMV because you try to call yourself something like Saturn or some shit. Actually, that's not a fair accusation. I actually have a friend of mine named Jupiter, and they seem to be getting on all right. So I guess it's not like the dumbest thing that could have happened. I'm just saying it's pretty stupid. No, I'm not going to fill in that eye. I feel like it looks a little goofy when I do that. All right, here's what I'm going to do, though. I'm going to copy and paste this. I'm going to lower the opacity of this, and I'm going to like essentially just like do over the different parts that are shaded here. Or actually, you know what might be a better idea? Just do the borders. Now, the talk about DBZ got me remembering those cheap knockoff toys in which it was like a Vegeta figure that came with a cursed-ass looking gun. I mean, they're still technically doing that. I think in Fortnite they introduced like Gohan's Beast Axe, or whatever the hell he has, right? What's up with that thing? Where'd he get that? Yeah, the Beast Axe. I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. I think Beast Axe sounds like a really bad. Beast Axe sounds like a canceled deodorant. You know the deodorant brand Axe. Beast Axe feels like it was like a knockoff produced in like Bali that eventually had to be shut down for health reasons because it like attracted pumas or some shit to your scent. Let's see. Well, I think that was like a plot point in Anchorman. Like a perfume that like attracted wild cats to you by accident. Let's see here. Let's see here. Yeah. All I know about the B-Stacks is it's just in the funny Fortnite game. Yeah. Like, my respect to Fortnite for somehow uniting almost every single IP that I could have thought of. I think the only ones that are missing at this point are like probably like Barbie dolls or some shit, but even then that's only a matter of time. The game in which you can see LeBron James duking it out with Kratos via dance battle. Yeah, the most honorable of contests. Like, let's be real. People constantly talk, about like the idea of like, oh yeah, we should settle world peace with like, we should settle international conflicts with like boxing matches or something, and whoever side's boxer is stronger wins. I feel like we need to introduce the idea that possibly dance battles might be a fresh new angle to approach things at. But then I usually remember that like freaking Hypnosis Mike is a real thing that exists, and I usually have to throw in the towel after that. Yeah, Hypnosis Mike is another one of those things that I've learned about by accident. If you've never heard of it before, Hypnosis Mike is... You know how, like, the original Transformer cartoons was just, like, a ploy to push the sale of toys? Imagine a similar scenario, but instead of, like, robots in disguise that turn from, like, a car into, like, a dude, it is just anime pretty boys. From what I can understand, this is what Hypnosis Mike was made to do. Like, similar to, it's not exactly a visual novel because it didn't start off as a visual novel, so it's not like Mystic Messenger where like anime pretty boys are like a vehicle for conveying the story that they want to tell. I feel like Hypnosis Mike is one of those things that was like made to push anime pretty boys. If I'm being perfectly honest, I don't. Like, obviously, people have put, like, a lot of love and effort into the series, but I can't help but feel that, like, all of it feels just very extremely, like, at a glance to me, it just feels like one of those things that was definitely made to, like, make a gacha game. I don't even know if Hypnosis Mike has a gacha game. I don't think it does, but it feels like it should. Been napping around enough. Oh, you took a nice little nap, did you? Had a nice little chill on the stream. I appreciate that. Yeah. Sometimes it is important to nap around a little bit. Yeah. I do think that it's important to nap around a little bit. Like, if you like, for example, are cleaning your apartment and you want to like take a little break, I think it's important that, well, for one thing, you don't like lay on your bed or anything, or maybe you should. I don't know. I think it kind of depends a little bit on like your resting habits, because I think like if you're not normally the sort of person who takes power naps, I think if you power nap when you're cleaning, it should be extremely beneficial. But if you are the person who usually power naps, then power napping when you clean is not a great idea. I feel like you need to have a little bit of variety when you do that, because otherwise your body is immediately going to recognize the signs like, oh, we're stopping, we're going to stop now, and you won't want to continue cleaning. And after that, it is hell motivating yourself to finish the job. I'm speaking mainly from my own experiences here. I have a hard time, I have an easy time motivating myself to start cleaning, but usually after I'm knee-deep entrenched in bags of trash and dusty cloths, I'm like, okay, I'm not having fun with this anymore. Weirdly enough, a similar thing happens to me when I exercise, right? I start out loving moving my body, and then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, no, the novelty of the situation has worn off. I would like to go back to sitting now, which probably isn't great for me. Like I said, I exercised earlier. I'm trying to turn that around a little bit, but it's slow going. Yeah, I think the best way to avoid that is probably to, like, for me at least, is to just like do one set of exercises each day, but do them very intensely. So doing like Tabata workouts and everything, I feel like that would probably be the best for me, because I don't want to, you know, get entrenched in it and then like lose motivation partway through. Yeah. Weirdly enough, right? I'm also one of those people who has like trouble sitting down and watching shows. Like I could read a comic, for example, very easily, but I could not for the life of me like sit my ass down and watch a show from like episode 1 to episode N without like a little bit of like either the show being like super intriguing to me, or the show, or like me being like super determined to finish this goddamn show. I remember something like that happened to me with Invincible, the first season of Invincible. I watched the first episode of Invincible, like not really knowing what to expect, because like I was just hearing like good things about the series, and I'm like, oh hey, this sounds neat. You know, it's like a superhero show. That sounds interesting in the spirit of like, you know, Teen Titans or something. It looks very Teen Titans-y. And I went to for episode 1. I'm like, oh yeah, it was kind of like that. And then I get to the like end part of episode 1, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck was that? Yeah. So apologies if I'm spoiling a show that's been out for like 2 years now for everyone. The plot of Invincible is that there's like a very big twist at the very end of the first episode that kind of like sets the tone for the rest of the series, or at the very least sets up a lot of the later conflicts in the series, and it is gruesome. All right, I think the best way to do this is to do like area scaling 3 on here. Hang on. And then right where these like white spots are, do those manually. Put that back on there, and here we go. Okay, area scaling 4 maybe? Why is it not like, hang on, why is it not sticking? Usually increasing the area scaling solves these kinds of problems, so I guess in this one it's particularly stubborn. I wonder why that is. Yeah, I've mentioned this before. I don't want to be the kind of artist that's like set in his ways, but unfortunately, with stuff like the fill tool, I think that's just kind of like how I'm going to be permanently doing things. I don't know. I just feel like it's going to take like way too much effort to learn how to do things in a painterly style. Like I feel like doing things in a painterly style is definitely for people who have more experience in like the context of painting. Well, that does sound again like an excuse to not do it, but I don't know. I shouldn't have to force myself, I don't think. Art's supposed to be fun to some extent. Maybe having a bigger brush would help. How much water do I still have in my kettle? Hang on. I have a fair bit. Alright, let's pour some more out. Is it a good temperature? Let me check. Oh yeah. I might just hang on. I'm gonna like chug this glass real quick. Be right, but I'll turn my mic back on in like a second. Alright, it didn't end up finishing the whole glass because it's so little hot, but it's at a good temperature. I'm definitely gonna need to remember to take a sip in like 2 or 3 seconds. Minutes. 2 or 3 minutes. Okay. 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 Then over here. And then I can just fill in this white part here. Okay, let's see how this looks. Alright, pretty good, pretty good. What I'm gonna need to do though, okay, first of all, I'll check on Hawk over here. Hawk's fine. Hawk seems to have it together, thankfully. Thank God somebody does. It's the maid that has like more detail in her clothing, so I'm gonna need to like rework some of that. Yeah, what else did I read about today? Oh yeah. Recently I've been getting back into what do you call? So I remembered watching this music video. I don't remember if my brother tried to like show it to me on YouTube when I was way too young, or if I just like happened to accidentally catch it on like Ecuadorian MTV way back in the day. But there was this music video from a band. I thought it was the Juanes, but it might have been another one. Anyway, I remember like some music video. Let me hang on. Let me pull it up to make sure that I know which one I'm talking about. Okay, it was the Juanes. The music video was called La Paga, and essentially it's about this Mickey Mouse parody who gets cheated on by his girlfriend, and like the music video is about this. The song itself is just about like a dude who's like resentful that like all the affection that he gave to somebody has been scorned, essentially. Yeah, it doesn't paint a great picture of him, but The music video itself is, I remember very distinctly. So I thought it was for Camisa Negra, but it turned out to be for La Paga. Yeah, but anyway, after that, my YouTube got stuffed full of like mid 2000s Spanish emo rock, and honestly, I can't complain. Some of these are bangers. Mm-hmm. Hang on, I gotta get to a different layer right here. There we go. Yeah, I think I think I tried to redo this by essentially like going into the aliased what do you call fill work and essentially like blurring it a little bit so it had that kind of like anti-alias feel to it, but in looking at it now, I don't think that worked out quite as well as I'd hoped. But hey, Wednesday's almost over. You got through most of the week. Now it's just a weekend to worry about. Or Thursday. We have to get through Thursday first. I mentioned earlier that I'm the type of person who never quite got the hang of Wednesdays. I'm sure there's people out there who's never got quite the hang of Thursday. So for y'all, I'm praying. I still want to sue whoever decided to call Wednesday Hump Day as a cute nickname. Like, it's just such a gross nickname for it. Like, it just brings to mind like either like a camel's humps. Like, to me, it doesn't bring to mind like a hill or like the apex of like a diagram or something. To me, it brings to mind like a dromedary's back or some shit. So I'm not really a big fan of the phrase Hump Day. Hang on. There we go. Here we go. Then after that, okay, I think it's going to be mainly, okay, the bottom half is done. Then it's going to be mainly the shirt, the face, and some of the hair. Okay. The sleeves here are an easy enough fix. God damn. I'm going to drink some more water. Hang on. I've just been knocking stuff on. I feel like I've just been very gross this stream. Not in particular like in my subject matter, but I've just felt gross. We all have off days. Like I said, I never quite got the hang of Wednesdays. That most certainly must be it. Yeah, even if I never got the hang of Wednesdays, it's not like this Wednesday is going to be like any other Wednesday I have. Who knows? This might be my lowest point for a good long time. I'm going to try to approach it like that. Yeah, between me constantly masking up and almost never going outside, I don't get sick very easily. Not to mention, I think I just have like a naturally freakishly strong immune system. Unlike Goku. that was mean. That was a low blow. I shouldn't have done that. I owe Goku so much. Who am I if not the guy who was at least at one point tried to do a Kamehameha? Wait, that's Master Roshi's move, though. I don't really... if that's the case, I don't really owe Goku anything. Alright, hang on. Hang on. Oh, I should be doing this the other way, I think. Yeah. There we go. I have always wondered. I have in my pen tablet settings, I have turned into something called like mouse mode, right? I'm not sure what that does, but I found it much more useful than like having it in the whatever was the alternative. I am wondering though, does that mean like if I increase the DPI on my mouse? Yeah, I bought like this like weirdly nice gaming mouse not too long ago. I think it'll. Well, looks like they finally found me. Anyway, I bought a gaming mouse not too long ago because the mouse that I was using before that finally bit the dust, and unfortunately, I have like fairly big hands relative to the rest of my body. So it was kind of difficult to find a mouse that didn't feel like I was like trying to grasp onto a cue ball for me. Or not even a cue ball, it's more like a ping pong ball. Like a lot of mice just feel very small in my hand. Like you're not supposed to be able to like grasp all the way around the mouse, you know? It's like you're supposed to only be able to grasp part of it. And I found a mouse that has like a bunch of different buttons, one of which increases and decreases the DPI of the mouse on command. I've been using those a lot more ever since I like set up my work from home setup, because you know it's just easier to like flit between screens using a very fast mouse. I don't know why I said that like some kind of like super villain. In any case, I found it much easier to do it that way, and now I'm wondering if like maybe adjusting the DPI on my mouse will also somehow affect my tablet pen, but I don't know if that would be possible. I mean, like hell. Yesterday I couldn't get a VC phase running properly until I closed out VTube Studio. So, you know, technology is a lot less robust or intuitive and integrative than we give it credit for. Here we go. Let's see. Just redoing the borders around here should do the trick. Or maybe not. Actually, I kind of like having that a little bit there. It makes it feel more natural. There we go. Then, man, I said that we'd be adjusting the jetpack on other pages. How are we for time? Oh boy. I always tend to get sidetracked with these sorts of things, but like I said, it's not a bad thing in this particular case. It's just making sure that, particularly since page 2 was supposed to be like the preview page, you know, like it's like supposed to give you a big taste of what's coming next. I think it's fine to give this one a little bit more TLC than I would normally. Not to say that I don't give my other pages TLC. I'm just saying that I have a reason to give this one preferential treatment. There we go. Now we all know who your favorite child is. I mean, in terms of pages, yes. I do actually quite enjoy what is it like some of the later pages in this have been looking like, though. I think in particular the last few pages are going to be good. Cerberus Rice Beast. Oh god, that's right. Hang on. Yeah. Chimera type Rice Beast. Lernian Hydra type Rice Beast. That's what I meant, but yeah. That looking at the comic pages in the context of like, hang on, I don't know why I ended that sentence with "but." Lost my train of thought. Hey, that's fair. We've all been there. Yeah, looking at comic pages in context of like family inheritance dynamics is kind of fun, though. You know, I know that the second page is a more word of the year, but because the first page was first in terms of chronological order, I'm afraid I will have to leave the forge to them in their incapable hands and trust that they will take on the family trade and do it justice. I feel like if I was reborn in medieval times, I would have taken over a blacksmith forge. I know a lot of people feel that way, you know, like they're like, okay, yeah, I wouldn't be a farmer, but I would definitely like not be like a noble. So I feel like I would take over like a forge. They can live up to the family name. Honest. All right, Skillsy, if you vouch for them, I trust you. All right. But yeah, like I do feel that, you know, besides because nobody wants to be like a peasant farmer, right? I feel like most people, if they were like being reborn into the medieval world, they wouldn't want to be a peasant farmer, but they also wouldn't want to have like the nobility status. So I feel like blacksmith would be a pretty popular choice. They will go through character development with their sibling pages at their side. And like in the very end of the movie, it'll just be me like looking over them like all like a scene straight out of like at the end of JoJo Part 5, where it's like I'm just looking down at them from like a cloud, just like smiling and nodding, and they'll like acknowledge me. And you'll have to wonder as the audience, well, was that real or was it just like a figment of page 1's imagination? Finally at ease with the burden of their responsibility. Yeah. God. One time I read this manhwa, right? About essentially, I think, okay, so I forget what its name was, but essentially the idea was that it was like one of those like transmigration stories where a character gets like sent backwards in time after they die. Except that in this case, the character was this master of this guy's spy lady who got transported to like an ancient Chinese household, like during I guess it wouldn't have been the Three Kingdoms era, but maybe sometime around then. don't know what I would like to be in medieval time. I mean, for me, the first answer would probably be artist. The logical answer would probably be artist, but in my heart, I just know that I would try to become a blacksmith, and probably like die of mercury poisoning into well into my 30s. Average life expectancy back in the day was nothing to laugh at. Like by the time you were 12, you'd already had a midlife crisis. Blacksmithing's a type of art. That's true. You know, I hadn't considered it from that angle, but it is true. Granted, I imagine most people wouldn't be looking for art so much as they'd be looking for, like, I don't know, nails, I guess? Horseshoes? Pipes, maybe? But yeah, anyway, there was this, like, comic, Horseshoes, yeah. Anyway, there was this comic about, like, this lady who got, like, sent back to, like, Three Kingdoms era China into a noble house, and because she was, like, a spy in her previous life, she managed to, like, outmaneuver them pretty well. Furniture. I mean, I guess a blacksmith could make furniture as well. Yeah, what the hell? I'll revolutionize wrought iron fences. Well, no, not wrought iron front fences, wrought iron benches. Cast iron pots and stuff. You'd be a sailor? Oh, that's badass. I wish that for you, actually. Yeah. Hopefully after they figured out the whole scurvy thing. I mean, if they don't figure out the whole scurvy thing, I think you would be able to figure it out pretty handily. Yeah, cast iron pots and stuff. Yeah, that's true. Man, I would give anything to, like, see a cast iron pot from, like, the medieval times. Like, you just know that thing was coated as hell. Good, like, a non-stick natural. Like, I feel like I would just admire it for a minute. Yeah. I remember somebody, like, on, like, a cast iron Reddit did, like, 80 coats on, like, seasoned their cast iron pan, like, 80 times, to the point where it was, like, it practically acted as, like, a mirror because of just how reflective it was. Like, the grease had settled on there so thickly that it just looked like and so finely that it looked like a mirror. It was like looking into the face of an entity which I did not understand. Love cast iron. Yeah, I don't think I have, like, the discipline to keep cast iron stuff, but I'm very. I admire people who do have that kind of discipline because, you know, for me, once I finish cooking, I don't want to, like, immediately, like, make sure that the pan is all right. I don't want to immediately make sure that, like, none of the food is, like, greasing on it. Because I read, like, a primer on caring for cast iron stuff, and while it sounds fairly manageable, knowing myself, I don't want to, like, accidentally make too much work for myself. Like, it sounds doable, but I don't trust myself to, like, do it. You know? Okay. This should be good. Yeah. Oh yeah, that reminds me. I just rinse it out and wipe it. You can re-oil it later, but yeah, that makes sense. Sometimes I don't like taking care of it right away. Yeah. I know my lollygagging ass would not be able to do that consistently. But then sometimes I'll let it sit and then I reheat the oil later so it's not stuck on there. Oh, that's another tip as well, I suppose. What I've been meaning to get into, actually, you know, rather than the pans themselves, is actually, like, the scrubbers that I use to clean them. Yeah, I want to see if I can't find, like, more interesting scrubbers for me to use, because I feel like if I make cleaning them more fun, I'll do it more consistently. I recently got myself one of those, like, silicone mat scrubber things, where it's just like my mom let it soak in water one time, though, which was not great. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you do not do cast iron pans like that. Yeah, my dad had a cast iron pan that not a cast iron pan, a cast iron pot that he used to use for making pucherito, which is like this lentil sausage dish, which is so good. And he used to use it for that, but I'm not sure what it's been up to. I think they might have like gotten done away with it last time they moved. But yeah, he treated that thing like it was made out of silk. Which, for all I knew about cast iron at the time, it might as well have been. Oh, a chainmail link scrubber might be good for you in regards to scrubbing. Chainmail link... Hang on, I gotta Google this. For cast iron. What the super... Yo, they fucking peeled a night to make this thing. They hunted Raph down for sport, and then they peeled him to make this thing. Sir Lancelot has a chunk of his ass armor missing for this thing. Just look at it. That's awesome. This thing looks like a medieval torture device. I love them. I have one. How's it handle? You like it? I mean, like, it looks like it's a lot of fun to use, actually. Yeah. I feel so wimpy. I have, like... Hang on. Silicone spun scrubber. But I prefer the one with the red thing in the middle, but overall I like it. Yeah. I use like essentially one of these things. I think this one is made for... This one might be made for like bathing, but I have one of these too that is made for cleaning pans and such. And I found it to be pretty decent. You know, much less scratchy than the sponges that I used. Which is good, because given all the weird crap that I already intake as part of my regular diet, adding Teflon to the mix would just not be a good idea. Mom got me the just chainmail one, which can get dangerous when the pan is hot. Ooh, yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. Metal being conductive to heat is all fun and games until you have to like clean something made out of metal. Clean a pan made out of metal with something made of metal. At which point it becomes a very interesting game of hot potato. The potato in this case, unfortunately, being your hands. Okay. There we go. But yeah, it's good for scrubbing anything that sticks to cast iron. Nice. I could talk cast iron all day because I really like cooking with it. That's fine. I like hearing about it. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know what it is about, like... I feel like people who camp usually have the best taken care of cast iron stuff. I don't know why I get that impression, but I feel like people who, like campers, if you were to rank the like cast iron pan owners, I feel like campers would probably be like among the top 3. I am, by the way, 100% remembering that one scene from Euro Camp where like that old guy just shares a bit of steak with one of the characters. Not a camper, but I've seen some videos and it's very versatile. Makes sense. Yeah. Man, I think Eurocamp is definitely like one of the last anime that I like watched in one sitting. Which is a weird thing to think about. Like, I remember myself being much more into anime, but I've barely been able to like sit down and like watch some anime these days. Drawing a stick of cell, thank you. Speaking of which, so I think it might be just about done. I don't think we had anything else that was like particularly. Oh wait, no, hang on. The gun. We're missing the guns detail. I want to get into Akiba Maid Wars. Dude, I've heard so much good stuff about Akiba Maid Wars. Mainly about how deranged it is, but yeah, good stuff. Yeah, I know a lot of people have been a big fan of like Bocce the Rock. Somehow, I was hyped that Chainsaw Man got an anime adaptation, but I'm not really intending to watch it. Really, like, there's no one scene from the anime. Like, the thing is, right? For me, Chainsaw Man was more about like the emotional moments rather than the actual fight scenes. So, oh, actually, you know what? The Bomb Devil fight in the next season, I imagine, will be one of those scenes that I kind of gotta watch. But yeah, um, I was really excited for the Chainsaw Man anime. Got to finish Beastars. God, I remember Beastars was a lot of fun. Lots of weird shit going on in Beastars, but it compels me. Like, Beastars, I don't know how to put it. Like, there's a lot of anime and manga that it feels like it's weird for like a gag, but Beastars felt like it was weird because it was just like genuinely weird like that. You know, that wasn't like manufactured for like a bit or anything. It's just like it's like an all net. It's like a very organic kind of weird. Dorohedoro was kind of similar in a lot of respects, but I still feel like a lot of the weirdness in Dorohedoro felt, yeah, very genuine. Yeah, like I think like a lot of the weirdness in Dorohedoro, not all of it, but like some of it still felt like kind of very tongue in cheek and kind of like, you know, we made this weird on purpose to make it funny. But a lot of like Beastar's weirdness was just like legit. Was, as you said, it came from a very genuine place, and you could really feel that through the writing. Like Legoshi being like such an absolute fucking dork, that felt very natural and like not in all kind of like cutesy like, oh, I'm so shy thingies kind of thing. It, like, Legoshi was straight up like a cryptid in his own high school, which I appreciate quite a bit. Yeah, I don't know if I'm pronouncing Legoshi's name right. I might not be. I don't really mind. Okay, and now let's see what the rest of this looks like. Nice. Okay, I think page 2 is nice. Is just about fixed up. Hilariously enough, I didn't have to do anything for the backpack here. But yeah, Beastars, huh? I gotta get back and finish the manga for that. I remember not being compelled by the first couple of arcs of Beastars, but like after he started training under the panda guy, I remember like really picking up on it after that. Yeah, mainly because it was like really compelling after they departed from the school. Yeah. Yeah, I do think like my peak for the Beastars manga, as far as I remember it, was definitely like the New Year's fight and the lead up to it. But you know, I feel like I feel like I forgot I had this thing open. And put our Tamarin monkey. I wish I had a beard as magnificent as this thing. Gotta pop out for the evening, but enjoy the rest of the stream. Hello? Yeah. Apparently 2 of these little guys got loose from a zoo earlier today, but they've been found since then, thankfully. Okay, page 1 is fine. But yeah, enjoy the rest of your evening. Page 3, here we go. Now we can actually do... Okay, so I think we're going to do page 3 and make sure that that's consistent. Yep. Catch you later. Yeah, so I think page 3 and make sure that that's consistent, and then we can... Yeah, so for example, like, I want to make sure that the headband on the visor is always, like, black. Hang on. Where would I do the shading for this? Oh, it'll probably be in here, huh? Yeah, there we go. Then for the backpack, thankfully from this angle we don't really have to do much, so we can just do it over in a new layer. Here we go. Okay. Then over here. Let me pull up the picture that I have of the, what I call the jetpack. Okay, just gonna have this open in a separate window here. Okay, perfect. All right, let's head it back in there. Let's see. Then, okay. Okay, I think having that little extra angle there is going to be enough for that one specific panel, but it's going to be panel 3. Panel 3? Yeah, panel 3 here where we really need to step it up. Okay, so first of all, again, consistency with this eye mask here. Oh, actually. I may take a little detour here to make sure that the helmet is right. Because something about the snout seems a little... Like, something about the snout to goggle ratio on this helmet feels a little bit off. Yeah, like having it be like this feels much more natural. Mm-hmm. There we go. And after that... Actually, come to think of it, it might be better if I shift the neck back a little bit. Then over here, I'll do a little bit of like light manipulation here. To make sure that the neck is a very distinct part of the body. Those lines are a little too thick though. Need something thinner. Let me, hang on. There we go. Crunchy wrists. Okay. Yeah, I'm glad we changed the design of the backpack because just having it be like this very like round, shiny thing on her back feels a little bit boring. Let's see. Yeah, now it gets to be a very boring kind of like quadrilateral thing on her back. It's a major difference. Major difference. Ah, who am I kidding? This design whips ass and I know it. I don't gotta be humble about it. Let's see. Yeah, that being said, I do have to flatten it a little bit because now, thanks to the wings kind of popping out like that, slightly different situation. Okay. Come to think of it, I should probably like raise these up a little bit. Or actually lower them down a little bit and then extend the wing up here. And actually, come to think of it as well, you'd be able to see like the little controls back here. Or at least what I'm planning is going to be like the controls. Hang on. Actually, I kind of want to look at something. Let me look up, hang on, driving game joystick. Not quite, not quite. Yeah, this thing. I kind of want to make it look a little bit like one of these things, like these flight simulator joysticks. You know, the, what do you call the little mechanism on her jetpack. Okay, so it's got 4 buttons. Okay, so the way I'm figuring it, right, it would look a little bit like this, except and maybe instead of having these 5 buttons here, or 6 buttons technically, it would for sure have this joystick here. Maybe 1 button, and maybe 1 button for the booster here, and maybe like... Actually, no, I guess that's really all it needs, doesn't it? All it needs. Because because I also wanted to be able to like control the other one to some extent. So I think like maybe that's what... Okay, so maybe that's what a button up here could be for? Okay, yeah. Okay, then. I've got an idea for what this is going to look like. Although it might look like a Wii nunchuck at this rate, which also wouldn't be a bad design, honestly. It'd be something true to me, at least. I have memories. I have like fond memories of swinging around a Wii nunchuck at speeds which were frankly irresponsible. Punch Out was a wild game, and I'm very sad that it isn't making a comeback to the Switch. Like honestly, I don't know why they haven't made more like Switch boxing games. Like I know they have Ring Fit Adventure, but that's not really a boxing game. That's just like a workout game. There might be one in like the newest Wii Sports thing, or I guess it would be Switch Sports or whatever. But that's not the same. That's not the same at all. All right, let's bump this back up to full. I mean, is that worth it? Well, first of all, there's a bunch of blank space here, so I gotta fix that first. I feel like this is definitely another one of those layers where I just like use the blur tool a little bit to make sure that the like alias lines were anti-aliased. That or is using like a lower version of the aliasing, which is entirely possible. Like I said, I've only really come around to it recently. Well, whatever. It's getting fixed now, so that's what's important. Okay, so I think what I can do is actually like remove this, but also like make the shadows on the joystick a little bit more dramatic, kind of like compensate for everything. There we go. Let's see, vector line, erase here. This would actually kind of like fold in like this. And then I think the rest of this is fine, actually. Yeah, I think maybe the only thing would be maybe in this last panel, you would be able to see a little bit of the wings poking out at the sides here. Hang on. No, I guess it would be higher up, huh? That makes my job a little bit easier. Just a little bit, just a little bit of the wings. No, wait, it'll be... Okay, it wouldn't be that high up, but it would certainly not be too low down. Yeah, because then... Okay. This will kind of like go like this. This will go like this. There we go. Is that something that I should aim to make so consistent? Would it look better like this or with like... Actually, you know what? To even the odds a little bit, I'm gonna like also make the shade right here. There we go. I think that works pretty good. Okay. Hang on, one last little detail. There we go. Okay, now we're ready to move on to page 4. I think on page 4 I did most of it already. Or at least one, like the main stuff is fine. No, okay, the backpack still needs a little bit of work, but thankfully I'm using a lot of silhouettes already, so that shouldn't be too big of a cleanup detail. Okay, just kind of like make a dent here. There we go. And then this part here would have like a little bit of the wing jutting out, and that would be our job done. Kind of think, but actually, hang on. Maybe a slightly thicker line would be good. Okay, and then the next panel is fine. We'll need to, again, kind of work on the silhouette there a little bit. Oops. There we go. And now we can just kind of like do a couple wisps here and there. Or actually, hang on, we could probably expand this just fine, right? To fit the mold. Or to fit the empty space there. There we go. Yeah, and that looks a little bit more solid. It looks a little bit bulky, but that's fine. It's supposed to look that way, I think. Or rather than like, it's supposed to look that way, it's supposed to have like that kind of weight to it. Now this part might be a little bit more tricky. Actually, no, this part's probably fine too. I'm worried over nothing over here. Okay. There we go. To make sure that the wings are nice and big so that it actually reaches all the way up there. All right, here's how we do. Okay, first of all, we're going to use the white here to remove all this here. Now let's take a second here to clean up some of these lines which I didn't notice before. They're not noticeable in the final print, but they bug me, personally. Nothing bad about tidying up a little bit, but even beyond what the scope of what you're supposed to do, right? Hang on. Okay, I see how it is. Okay, do a little bit of the wing there. There we go. Okay, that's going to kind of tick on over there. Getting hit with that sleepy tired. I'll try to finish up this. Okay, maybe this page and page 5, and then we'll call it a night. In terms of like rocket rearrangement. Okay. Then over here. I feel like, okay, is that a speck on my screen or is that like actually an issue? No, okay, that's a speck on my screen. Thank God. Yeah. There we go. That makes it feel a lot less organic, having that kind of like hatching. Perfect. Okay. Okay, then... Okay, we don't need to look at the jetpack on this one. Thank you, past Pabs. I owe you my life. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, I almost thought this was like one of those the scary masks from Scream, just from like the vague shape language of it. All right, let's open up page 5 though. Okay, like see here for example. All right, I'll need to fix the jetpack there on panel 1. There we go. Okay, let me just what the? All right. First, let me adjust my brush size so it's not gargantuan like it has been for the past few pages. Gargantuan, I feel, is like a word that doesn't get used with, and you know how like some people will be like very pedantic and be like, you shouldn't call everything awesome because you know awe used to be like this awe-inspiring thing, and now it's just like a thing that 12-year-olds use. I think that's like a very dumb argument, but I do think that like the word gargantuan needs to be more exclusively used to refer to gargantuan beasts and creatures. Because gargantuas were like a thing, right? Gargantuas were like a thing in Greek mythology, weren't they? I'm pretty sure they were. They might have been. They might have not been. Hang on, let me look up gargantuan creature. Gargantua Greece. Oh, Gargantua and Pantagruel. Pentalogy of novels written in the 16th century by Francois Rabelais, telling the adventures of two giants, Gargantua and his son Pantagruel. Huh. So, okay, so it wasn't actually a Greek thing, it was a French thing. Although Gargantua... Okay, so Gargantuas might have been... Okay, so that begs the question, though. Was Gargantuan like a word in use for something big before the French got their hands on it, or afterwards? Because, like, Pantagruel, I don't think is like a word per se. Gargantua is like a word now, or Gargantuan. I might be thinking of the Half-Life 1 monster as well. Yeah, I think Half-Life 1 did have a monster called the Gargantua, which was like, as its name implies, a big, angry-looking thing. It like shot out laser beam fire breath at you or something. Yeah, I think it can only get killed by like scripted stuff. Okay. So I think what I might do here is actually expand the shadow here so that it hides a little bit of the jetpack. Would that be too much black in one panel, though? Yeah, no, that's too much black in that like one little space. So as an alternative, what if I just like added the belt loop here to kind of increase the detail? Right, and actually you could see the thrusters from here, couldn't you? Shit. Okay, good thing I remembered in time. Shoot, did I remember to add the thruster at the bottom of the thing as well? I don't think I did. Okay, hang on. Hold on. If I forget about this now, I'm never going to remember it. Hang on. Not until it's too late. Hang on. Let's go all the way back. All right, page 2. Okay, page 2 it wasn't a problem. Page 3 it might be a problem. Actually, no, it would have been covered in page 3. Okay, and page 4... I think it would have also been covered in page 4 for the most part. Yeah, we're fine. Okay. Whew. That was a right scare, I tell you. And actually, come to think of it, this thing would need to be lower down as well. Yeah, this thing would need to be down here to kind of like match the... just like the normal stuff of the wings. Yeah, thinking back to our discussion about like medieval careers, right? It reminds me of that one like rhyme that went like Tinker Tailor, Soldier Sailor, right? Hang on, why does this keep grabbing the borders? What is up with that? You ever figure that like somebody in like the medieval times might have tried to like use that as like a checklist of their professions? I imagine the most difficult one of those to break into would be like the tinker one, right? Because like back in those days, you needed to be like real brain powerful to come up with something that nobody else had before. Okay. Okay, and this next panel doesn't show up at all, so I think it's just this panel which would need the jetpack. Maybe this one too, at the bottom here. Okay. Okay, and then just cut these off right here. Produce these like so. And then in this other panel up here, we would have to just grab this. Thankfully, this isn't too difficult of a replacement. Just a rather like more boxy shape compared to, you know, comparatively. Let's see that over here. Then over here. Yeah, I think that's good for now. And then page 6. I think I already did page 6 last stream. Did I do that? Let me double check to make sure I did do that. It was just about time up for us anyway. Yeah, I got it. That is locked down. All right, good. So we are caught up. All right. Unfortunately, I think that's all the time we have today. Let me go back to the just chatting screen. Me and my gaggle and my rice feast Kerberos here. Let's see. Tomorrow, I think I'm playing a little bit of Hades actually, and then on Saturday some more too. On Friday, I shall finally, at last, rest. Yeah. Let's see who all is streaming. How many people we got in here? 2 viewers. That's great. All right. Yeah, who all is streaming right now? Oh, plenty of people. Oh, hell yeah. Way too many people, actually. My God. How many of there are you? Oh, Andella's doing Half-Life, actually. Hang on. Let's go say hi to her. All right. Well, I'll catch you guys tomorrow for some Hades. Later. Bye.